And now I'm going to discuss the four cardinal virtues. Cardinal virtues are a set of virtues that were first described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato and later expounded upon by the philosopher Aristotle. These virtues are considered fundamental to leading a virtuous and ethical life. Prudence, justice, temperance, and the fortitude. First, we have the prudence, or wisdom. Prudence is involved the ability to make sound judgments and decisions based on reason and practical wisdom. It is about using knowledge and experience to determine the right course of action in various situations. So, the rule of prudence in our moral life is to guide our decision making process and help us discern the right course of action in specific situations. Prudence also involves the ability to judge and reason morally, considering the consequences and potential outcomes of our choices. It helps us navigate complex moral dilemmas, weighing different factors and considering the long-term effects of our actions. It is also involves self-reflection and self-awareness, enabling us to understand our own strengths, weaknesses, and biases. It helps us make sound judgment based on moral principles and virtues, taking into account the well-being of ourselves and others. By practicing prudence, we can avoid impulsive or rash decisions that may lead to harm or regret. It allows us to act in a manner that aligns with our values and promote the common good. Also, prudence is an essential virtue in our moral life, as it helps us make wise and responsible choices that contribute to our own flourishing and the well-being of those around us. So here is an example of prudence. When a person who is faced with a situation where they have the opportunity to cheat on a test, the prudent individual would carefully consider the moral implications of their action before making a decision. In this case, prudence would involve evaluating the potential consequences of cheating, such as the loss of integrity, damage to personal reputation, and the negative impact on others. The prudent person would also consider alternative options, such as studying harder or seeking help from the teachers or classmate. By exercising prudence, the individual would make a morally responsible decision based on careful consideration of the potential outcomes and the values they hold. Number 2, justice. So justice is a virtue of fairness and equity. It involves treating others with respect, giving them their due, and upholding the principles of fairness and equality. Justice also includes acting in accordance with the law and promoting the common good. The rule of justice in our moral life is to ensure fairness, equity, and accountability. It guides our actions and decisions by promoting the principles of right and wrong, and it helps maintain the harmonious and just society where individuals are treated with dignity and respect. Justice encourages us to act ethically, ethically uphold the rights of others, and seek equality for all. The example of justice could be a situation where a person witnesses an act of discrimination or unfair treatment towards someone based on their race, gender, or any other characteristic. The just individual would take action to address and rectify the injustice. In this case, justice would involve recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every individual and advocating for equality and fairness. The just person would speak up against the discriminatory behavior, support the victim, and work towards creating a more inclusive and equitable environment. So by exercising justice, the individual would strive to ensure that everyone is treated with respect and fairness, and that no one is subjected to discrimination or unfair treatment based on irrelevant factors. They would actively promote equality and work towards creating a just society. Third one is the temperance or moderation. So temperance is the virtue of self-control and moderation. So it involves restraining one's desires and impulses, particularly in relation to physical pleasures such as food, drink, and other indulgences. Temperance helps maintain balance and avoid excess. The role of temperance in our moral life is to promote self control, moderation, and balance in our actions and behaviors. So it helps us resist temptations, avoid diseases, and make wise decisions. Temperance allows us also to develop discipline and destructive habits. It fosters a sense of harmony and self mastery, enabling us to live virtuously and in alignment with our virtues. So here is the example of temperance. So temperance in this context refers to the exercising self-control and restraint restraint when it comes to drinking alcohol. It involves avoiding excessive or irresponsible drinking habits that can lead to negative consequences such as impaired judgment, health issues, or harm to oneself or others. By practicing temperance in this area, individuals can demonstrate moral responsibility by prioritizing their well being and those around them. They make conscious choices to drink in moderation, knowing their limits and avoiding situations that may compromise their moral values or put themselves or others at risk. The last one is what we call the fortitude or the courage. Fortitude is the virtue of courage and strength in the face of adversity or challenges. It involves facing difficulties with bravery, perseverance, and resilience. Fortitude enables individuals to everyone fair and act virtuously even in difficult circumstances. So the rule of fortitude in our moral life is to cultivate courage, resilience, and perseverance in the face of challenges, difficulties, and temptations. It also enables us to stand firm in our convictions and make morally upright choices even when it may be uncomfortable or unpopular. Fortitude also helps us overcome fear, doubt, and discouragement, allowing us to act in accordance with our principles and values. It empowers us to face adversity, endures hardships, and pursue what is right and just, even in the face of obstacles or opposition. Ultimately, fortitude strengthens our moral character and helps us lead a virtuous life. So, here is an example of fortitude that is related to moral behavior. Standing up for one's belief and values in the face of adversity or opposition. Fortitude, also known as the courage of bravery, is the strength of character to do what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. So, for instance, imagine a situation where someone witnesses an act of injustice or discrimination. Demonstrating fortitude in the context would involve speaking out against the wrongdoing, even if it means facing backlash or criticism from others. It requires the moral courage to confront the situation head on, advocating for fairness and equality despite potential risk or personal discomfort. So, by exemplifying fortitude in moral decision making, individuals show resilience and a commitment to upholding their principles, even when it may be easier to remain silent or go along with the crowd. It is an essential virtue for promoting justice and positive change in society. So, these four virtues are often seen as interconnected and mutually reinforcing, and they provide a framework for leading a virtuous and balanced life. And that is the four cardinal virtues.